Good morning, everybody. This is Aunt Beck at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I've already baked some sweet potatoes, and what I do is I just scrub the sweet potatoes, and I always line my pan with aluminum foil because sweet potatoes have a tendency of weeping, and it's just easier cleanup for me. So I put them on there. I put them in a 400-degree oven for an hour. At about the 40-minute point, I'll poke some air holes in to release some of the pressure and continue cooking them, and then they're done and ready to be eaten. I just started these pork chops. I'm braising them on each side so they're just brown like that, and I hate a smooth top stove. Everything wants to spin and spin. Can't stand it. So once the other side is about this color, I'm going to pull the pork chops out and into that I'm using leftover bacon grease from breakfast, and once this gets braised like that on the other side, I'll pull the pork chops out, and in that same oil I'm going to cook an onion which has been fairly thinly sliced, and what I want to do is cook the moisture out of this onion so that I don't have a bunch of liquid when I put this in the oven to bake. I always cook the onion in the oil just to get it cooked down and caramelized. Once the onion is caramelized, what I'll do is I'm going to take them back out of that pan with a slotted spoon to try to hold some of the oil. I'll put the pork chops back in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically fry my barbecue sauce so it'll stick to the pork chops. My son taught me that trick. That's how they get those ooey gooey chicken wings, is they basically fry the barbecue sauce. So I don't have a lot of barbecue sauce left anyway, so if I do that, it'll stick on there. And once I get them coated with the barbecue sauce, I'm just going to put them in a glass Pyrex like this. Oven's hot, hang on. And put them in there and then top them with the caramelized onion. And the oven's at 350 degrees. Now these pork chops are kind of thick. Normally I would only leave them in the oven for 20 or 30 minutes if they're thin pork chops. But these might need 30 to 40 minutes to get done. So that's what we're working on, and I will come back when they're done so you can see what they look like. I just thought I'd pop back on real quick and show you what you're kind of looking for. You don't want a really high heat, just halfway between low and medium when you're cooking your onions, because they'll burn if you don't reduce the heat. And you just want to cook them until they're reduced in size and a nice kind of caramel color. These bigger pieces probably won't get as caramelized as the, smaller, I don't know what you call them. Are they leaves on onions or sections? The little pieces that weren't cut into slices. I don't know what you call. But anyway, this is really, really getting close. So what I'll do is I'm going to lift these up out of here and put them on a plate or something here. I think that's pretty good, because if you try to just put raw onion on top of your pork chops as you're baking them, you'll have way too much liquid. So I'm just going to push these off out onto this other plate, and I'm going to put these back in here with the liquid that's come off them. You don't want to lose any of that goodness. And I've got a dish pan full of hot soapy water so I can clean as I go. That's the biggest thing. When you're cooking, if you have hot soapy water just sitting there ready to go, you can wash your dishes as you're cooking, and then when you're done cooking, you don't have to think about dirty dishes again. So I'm going to pour this in. This is just a yellow South Carolina golden barbecue sauce. This one's actually hickory flavored, and this is store brand. It's not the the name brand barbecue place that is known for this, because they got in trouble with NAACP and all the stores quit carrying them. So we buy the store brand, because if you go to the restaurant to buy their brand, it's a lot more expensive. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this really hot. I'm going to bump my heat up to be between medium and high, and let that really get to fried. You're frying your barbecue sauce, and my son taught me this trick because that's how you get really good barbecue wings. Is if he actually, when he makes wings, he puts butter in the pan and then dumps all of his barbecue sauce in and fries it. And they are sticky and yummy and gooey, and it probably cooks the sugar and makes it sweeter.
Oh.
So Scott's over here dropping knives and stuff at himself.
Trying to stab myself.
He's just getting up. He had a rough night, I think. So I'm going to turn these, and you'll see as I'm turning them how the barbecue sauce starts sticking to them. And I know this is probably not diabetic friendly at all, but it's tasty, and every once in a while it's okay to have something a little bit more rich flavored. All right. And you can see how the sauce is starting to get a little thicker in there and bubbling. All right. Now I'm going to get my pan here and just put these in here like so. And you see how the sauce stuck to them? I will pour the rest of the sauce on top and then top it with the onions. The onions do give it a little bit more moisture. You see how sticky that got? Just pour this in on top of the pork chops. Spread it around a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to put my pan right in my hot soapy water. Turn my burner off. Then we'll add the onions. I'll bring y'all over here to the sink. Ignore the Pepto-Bismol. I had a bad tummy night the other night. And you can see I got my hot soapy water there with my pan in it. And I'm just going to put a little onion on top of each pork chop. This holds the moisture down on the pork chop so they don't dry out. Alright. And they'll go in the oven, 350-degree oven, for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to check them, and if they need another 10 minutes, I'll leave them in for 10 minutes, and we'll come back when they're completely done.
Yeah.
Okay, it's done. I'm going to turn that off, cancel the oven, pull these pork chops out, and there they are, looking yummy. Now I've got water on the back here I'm going to bring to a boil, and I'm just going to blanch some spinach, and that'll be Scott's dinner for tonight.
In my tummy.
Alright, I thought I needed to come on and clarify. All of that food was not for Scott's lunch, just some of it. So this is Scott's dinner for tonight at work, and he likes hot sauce on his spinach, so I'll add a little hot sauce. I've put a little butter on his sweet potatoes. We'll probably put salt and pepper on there for him. And so we have 2 pork chops left that we can have for lunch tomorrow or the next day, and I have 3 additional sweet potatoes, so we could pair one of the sweet potatoes with one of the pork chops, so we would each get another lunch out of it. Plus I have another sweet potato in there that Scott could take for dinner later in the week as part of a meal. So we'll get several meals out of what I cooked. Just thought I'd come on and clarify that. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of our favorite foods that we like to cook and put together for meals. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will do more cooking videos if you all want them. I'm just a farm-raised cook that learned from her grandmother. So that's the kind of cooking I do. I am not a chef. I am not trained. I'm just a country cook. So if you like that type of videos, let me know in the comments and subscribe. This will be like a once a week thing. I'll do a meal. So thanks for watching. Bye.